What is up, everybody, and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and you are watching our requested lore video for the Sultanate of Araby. And we're actually going to just have this be its own video, its own standalone. We're not going to include the vampire counts in it because the vampire counts are a massive faction, and they have a lot of lore, and it honestly, to do them justice, they need to have their own video. The Kingdom of Araby is roughly analogous to the Muslim caliphates between the 7th and 15th century. Not much is known about the actual people who inhabit Araby other than that they are very diverse, as there has never actually been an official Games Workshop, rulebook, or army released for this faction. What little we do know has been brought back into the old world from merchants and explorers who made their way into the kingdom from the Empire in Britonia. And they have brought back tales of a nation whose undisputed mastery of the seas have made them the trading center of the south. They have established contact as far as Cathay and in the east, and with the Norse tribes in the north. They have no problem trading with anybody, anywhere, as long as the money's good. Arabian fleets are also famed pirates, and they conduct this enterprise on a worldwide scale, and it has brought them fabulous wealth back to the country. Geographically, Araby represents a great meeting point between the old and the new. It is located in the south of the Old World, west of Nehakara, the domain of the Tomb Kings, and northwest of the Southland rainforests. Much like the Arab Peninsula on which it is based, the Kingdom of Araby is also a peninsula, bordered on the north, west, and south sides by the Great Ocean, as well as straddling the Gulf of Medes between the Great Desert of Araby and the Great Sandy Desert in the south. The white marble cities of Araby are built far away from the arid interior along the fertile and prosperous coasts. Humans, of course, are the dominant race of Araby, although there are a number of declining races that survive in many of the more remote areas, such as dragons, giants, and giant wolves. Arabians trade and travel extensively, and indeed most of their wealth comes from trade with other nations. However, they've made few attempts to settle other lands outside of their homelands, aside from a few notable exceptions we will speak about later in the video. The language of the land in Araby is unsurprisingly Arabic, and all Arabians can understand this language. However, there are many among the adventurer and merchant classes that can make do in Old Worlder, which is a language spoken everywhere among human nations in the world. Araby itself is made up of many different ethnic groups and a number of different states, all of whom are loyal to a single religious and secular power controlled by the Sultan. The sultans of Araby are fabled to be more wealthy than even the dwarves, and their cities are rich in spices and gold, which they trade with the Empire, and slaves, which they trade with the Norsemen. Arabian society is monotheistic, and the Sultan is the grand secular and military power in the land, and the will of their god is manifested in the world by his chosen prophets. Sound a little bit familiar? Well, it probably should. As mentioned previously, the great cities of Araby are built on fertile lands on the coast of the Great Ocean. This is generally true with the exception of the great city of Bel Lake, which lies closer to the land of the dead than any other human settlement, being beyond the Great Desert. A few of the other important Araby cities include the city of Kofar, the city of El Hayik, otherwise known as the City of Thieves, as well as, last but not least, the Palace of the Wizard Caliph, which is located in the southern tip of the Arabian Mountains. There are many interesting kinds of flora and fauna that live in Araby alongside the tribes and sultans and men. There are isolated bands of giants who travel even as far south as Araby in the world of the mountains to trouble the native peoples in the area. Mummies also inhabit the dry and forgotten tombs of the deserts of Araby. Mummies are necromantically animated corpses carefully preserved against the ravages of time by secret and magical arts. Luckily, they are relatively rare and solitary creatures and can feed themselves. Lions and other super predators such as the open world giant wolf stalk the arid plains of Araby. And finally, there are the dragons, the former masters of the forests of Mount Gossip. There are very few men at all in the days of the dragon's ascendancy, and all of the old world was just one huge wild forest from the world's edge mountains to the sea. Today, dragons are a legend, and what few dragons exist live in almost perpetual slumber within deep caverns amongst their ancestral nesting sites in the world's edge mountains and the mountains of India. As the faction has never had an official Games Workshop rulebook or army book, knowledge of Araby's military is shaky at best. There is, however, some information to be had on the military structure and organization of Araby. At the head of any Araby army, leading possibly from an elephant back, you are likely to find an Arabian vizier, perhaps even the Grand Vizier of the Great Sultan himself, within the lordship of the entire peninsula. Few sultans would be so bold as to take the field personally, but throughout history there have been notable exceptions, such as the mighty Sultan Jafar, who led a powerful army to the Iraqi state Astalia and besieged the Tiliad city of Devon. Sub-commanders within the army are often marshals and commanders of a lesser rank within the palace hierarchy, or nobles, otherwise known as emirs, or leaders of the fierce desert tribes known as sheiks. In fact, some of the toughest fighters in Araby come from these nomadic desert tribes, and they are greatly feared by the more civilized traders who ply their trade along the caravan routes throughout the Great Deserts. Among the most notable warriors of Araby are the dervishes, fanatic religious warriors who are all too willing to die for their god. Another famous type are the eunuchs, individuals trained since birth to serve as warriors or guards. Unsullied. The rank and file of an Arabian army is made up of spearmen and bowmen, while their elite infantry arm is made up of Arabian guards, where household troops of the rulers of Araby are famously loyal and lavishly equipped. They carry some of the finest quality weapons and wear brightly colored clothes of silk brocade. Each sultan, caliph, and many lesser nobles and sorcerers have their own corps of these guards. They are so loyal that they would die at their own hands if their masters commanded. The famous cavalry wing of the Arabian armies is made up of desert riders, camel riders, and Arabian knights. Arabian knights are heavy-shot cavalry equipped with lances and powerful war horses. The Arabians are rightfully proud of their very powerful cavalry. Horses are highly prized in Araby amongst both the sultans of the coast and the sheiks of the inland deserts. As prized elite warriors, Arabian knights and their steeds are ornately equipped with tall helms and glittering armor. Like many other human nations in the known world, the Arabians have access to their own captive sorcerers. Sorcerers in Araby are said to be able to capture genies in bottles who, upon uncorking, will rise to immense size to do the bidding of their master, and these wizards are rumored to fly even upon magic carpets. Given their proximity to the nations of Nehakara, it should come as no surprise to anybody that the Arabians also dabble in the dark study of necromancy. Mystery shrouds this study, and an aspirant must either seek a necromancer and become an apprentice himself, or acquire one of the many forbidden tomes, such as the Book of the Dead, written by the mad Arabian priest, or Prince Abdul Bashir. There is very little that is known in the world about Araby's history, as most of it is very clearly documented by the scholars of the world. But it is known that Araby suffered invasions from the Tomb Kings of the Land of the Dead after the fall of the Khemri civilizations and the first necromancer, Yash. Later, Archon the Black invaded Araby with his undead army and sacked the city of Bel Aliyah in the year 1149 Imperial calendar, precipitating what would be known as the War of Death, a 1,000-year-long war in which Arkan reduced the once mighty and wealthy Arabian civilization to only a few weak and scattered civilizations, or city-states, and a handful of fiercely independent desert tribes. It was only when Arkan's master Nagash called him back to the land of the dead that these wars finally ended and allowed Araby some brief respite with which to rebuild their civilization. As I mentioned previously, one of the more expansionist and powerful Arabian sultans was Jafar. In 1430 Imperial calendar, this powerful Arabian sorcerer managed to weld several coalitions of desert tribes together with his own city-state troops in order to expand his small empire with the capture of the cities of Al-Hayy, Kofar, Martek, and Lashi. Legends speak of Jafar surrounding himself with demons and conversing with spirits. The Skaven in Araby secretly allied with this sultan, spying for him and murdering his rivals in exchange for warpstone. In 1448 Imperial calendar, Jafar, convinced by the nefarious Skaven that the Astalian kingdoms were planning an invasion against his rule, gathered a vast army and prepared his fleet for war. In response, large contingents of knights from Bretonia and Empire drove the Arabian forces back to their homeland. The war was eventually brought by the Knights of the Old World to Araby itself, precipitating the conflict known as the Crusades, which created many orders of imperial and Bretonian chivalry, including the Empire's Knights of the Blazing Sun, or the Knights of Magritta. This Great Crusade refers to a 3-year-long military campaign launched by the Knights of Bretonia and the Knights of the Empire in order to free the distant kingdom of Astalia from the enslavement of the Arabian invaders led by the Sultan Jafar. And finally, let's talk about Araby in the end times. Unfortunately, as it was never more than just a fluff faction, never got an army book, and never got any rules specific to them, they are only mentioned briefly as a footnote. After the fall of Kilia and Astalia, their neighbors in the north, the Arabians were next on the Skaven shit list, and they managed to put up a much better resistance than their neighbors, and so good of resistance, in fact, that the Skaven plans to invade the Empire of Bretonia had to temporarily put home. Eventually, though, the Skaven, being sneaky little rat bastards they are, managed to gain access to the underground waterways, poison the water supply, and pour out from the sewers to slaughter the remaining Arabians. Anyone who managed to escape this massacre undoubtedly died at the end of the end times when the world was destroyed by Archaon Chaos. And that is the end of our lore video for Araby. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in our 2 campaigns that are coming out. We're going to be playing as the Dwarves and Chaos, where Total War Warhammer finally, after all this time, drops in just a few hours. My name is Jordan, also known as J Monster, and I will see you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.